I hope you're ready for a long one because there are a lot of galaxies in this game. So let's delay no further and jump straight into the first dome, the Terrace. Good Egg Galaxy. This is the first galaxy you can play through when you launch the game, so I have to introduce some settings to rightfully judge it. While we have to consider the limitations of making the levels simple and easy enough for a first-time player, this galaxy should also be unique and fun, since it is the one which should envelop the player in the game's atmosphere and world. It should captivate them and make them feel the desire to keep playing to discover more. But also, this galaxy should be replayable, since it is mandatory on every single playthrough. Now, does it hit the mark? Well, let's see. The theme and environment is quite simple. You have multiple small planets with different designs, some with grass, others more rocky or foreign. It introduces you in a simple way the possibilities and the mechanics of the game. Now, for some pros. While it is not the most unique or interesting galaxy, we have to consider the fact that it is a requirement for this galaxy to not be overwhelming, and at that it does a phenomenal job at presenting diverse environments and settings, going from this grassy planet to this tropical one to this weird pill-shaped thing with changing gravity, to ships from Bowser's fleet, to this round lava floor where you fight a giant lava octopus. In only 3 stars, this game presents you with a lot of themes. Also, the platforming is simple. It is the first galaxy of the game, of course it's simple, but still, it already presents you with different ways of expressing yourself through your pathing decisions. And finally, the atmosphere is mostly light and soothing and already gives you this sense of wonder and discovery. Now, for some cons, the galaxy doesn't really have an identity which makes it memorable or interesting. Even through writing the script of this video, I had no clue which stars were in this galaxy, since there is no overarching theme bringing them all together. Also, while the fight against King Caliente, the big octopus, is amazing and full of personality, the first boss fight, on the other hand, it's bland. It's meh. You run away and hit the guy's tail, and that is as deep as it gets. Skipping it and going straight for the big octopus would honestly have been much better. Instead, they make you fight this boss, this baby piranha boss, not only once but twice. The first time through the first star, and the second time through the Speedy Comet, which is exactly the same boss, the same thing. And that's not even talking about the fact that they make you fight this boss a 3rd time. Oh my. But that's a story for another time. Overall, this galaxy has some decent levels and it's a good introduction to the game. 6 out of 10. Honeyhive Galaxy. Firstly, this galaxy's theme is excellent. It is memorable, unique, fun, and lighthearted. If you have played the game before, you definitely remember this galaxy and the bees. Now, while the theme and environment makes it a well-rounded galaxy, the levels and gameplay not so much. While fun thematically and fun to play through for the first time, the bee power-up is the most unfun thing in the game. I know this might be a hot take, but it's not good. The fun of playing a Mario platformer is the movement, it's the platforming, being creative on how you use this movement and which path you want to take to reach your goal. The bee power-up goes against all that. It restricts you from using your long or high jump and instead forces you to take a predetermined path. It is slow and unenjoyable, at least to me, in this completely objective review. Pros. The theme is perfectly executed. From the bee guards wandering the planets to the unique enemy types, some of them behaving differently when you have the bee costume on or off, it has personality. you will remember this galaxy. The purple coins and cosmic comets are quite fun. They make you explore more of the unique environments and allow you to actually use your movement in a more expressive way. Cons. The B power-up is at the forefront of the galaxy, obviously, and it's not really fun to use. The platforming is too linear and does not bring what is fun in a platformer. Overall, for the uniqueness and the good execution of the theme, I have to give this galaxy 7 out of 10. While it would not be my go-to galaxy for a fun experience, it is a galaxy that is interesting in the first playthrough and deserves to be played at least once. Sweet Galaxy. This level is absolutely phenomenal. This is a perfect example of wacky ideas and concepts which work extremely well in the context of this game. Having these random fun galaxies makes complete sense and allows for original and crazy experiences. While a very short experience of about 2 minutes give or take, it still manages to be memorable and a level I go back to for a quick good time. Pros. The theme is wacky and fun. It is lighthearted and honestly puts a smile on my face playing through. Good platforming in a platformer? You can take many different paths with your movement and have a lot of fun. Cons. It is a tad bit too short. I wish the level was longer and a bit more challenging. Overall, this is a galaxy I do in every playthrough, and even do multiple times. It is a 10 out of 10 and no one can tell me otherwise. Loopdeeloop Galaxy. While the theme is simple, it being this floating water racetrack where you use a ray to race with motion controls, it is a perfect 1-star galaxy. Pros. The gameplay is different from the rest of the game. It offers a unique experience which is entertaining and justified. It deserves to be in the game. Cons. While I did not mind the motion controls for this level, if you do, you might not like it. The galaxy only lasts 1 minute. It is forgettable. Overall, this is a quick, fun experience. For what it is, 8 out of 10. Flipswitch Galaxy. This galaxy is just floating switches with a weird PNG in the background. It really is not that interesting or unique. Pros. The level allows you to make choices with your movement and your pathing, which can be fun. While not very unique, the galaxy is a quick experience and is not tedious or annoying to go through. Cons. This is probably the most forgettable galaxy in the game. It feels like a filler level and most likely is. Overall, you could play it for a quick start. 5 out of 10. Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor. Now we're talking. This level is the first Bowser, or Bowser Jr. in this case, fight, and it is mandatory for progressing the game. Upon first landing, you quickly feel this military vibe where you are going to war against them and you are not welcome there. Quickly enough, you are introduced to this 3-legged monster, which is introduced with this low angle shot, really emphasizing its other size and destructive power, showing you firsthand how the power stars can be used to power evil constructs. You then have to climb on its legs and use its own weapons against itself to destroy it. For some pros, this level's ambience is excellent and perfectly executed. The boss is very unique and is fought with interesting mechanics. For some cons, we don't really see the boss for most of the fight. After having first climbed on it, you don't really feel its size and destructive power anymore. Overall, a solid boss fight, especially for it being the very first of the game. 10 out of 10. And now for second home of the game, the Fountain. Space Junk Galaxy. This galaxy holds a very special place in my heart. From the environment to the music, this galaxy makes you feel empty. You vividly feel the void of space and its emptiness. Playing through, you feel sadness, nostalgia, and weirdly enough, comfort. It is fairly hard to describe, but the combination of the music with the void you traverse, nothing alive in sight, it's soothing. On another note, this galaxy introduces pole stars, which adds a new layer to platforming and a new way to traverse the environment. For some pros, the ambiance is absolutely phenomenal. As you traverse this empty void, you often see the shining light of the stars in the horizon, reminding you of your goal through a grandiose display of hope. It is the shining light in the dark, the beacon to your void. The music is heart-wrenching and extremely comforting at the same time. It makes you feel nostalgia for something you've never experienced. From pole stars to these weird platforms, passing by these spiderweb catapults, there are plenty of ideas making this galaxy unique and fun to traverse and explore. Even the Purple Coins Comet is extremely fun. Now, for some cons, the second star has you attack Bowser's fleet and feels added over the galaxy instead of complementing it. I wish this extra star slot would have been used to explore further the core identity and the theme of the galaxy. Also, the galaxy uses a decent amount of motion controls, or requires you to aim with a cursor where you want to go. While I found it to be well implemented, I can see how it could be unfun to some. Overall, this galaxy is easily a 10 out of 10. Battlerock Galaxy. This galaxy is very fun. It has a clear identity, being this massive and impressive military base built in a large floating rock which you need to infiltrate. To do so, you must do some parkour and avoid bombs, lasers, and landmines. It's great. The secret star from the Hungry Luma is also, while out of the theme, quite fun. Instead of throwing you on a random small planet which has no link with the theme, you are instead sent on this small platform where you need to help one of those funny guys clean up some trash. With what else other than bombs? You just throw bombs at trash to clean it up. It has personality, it's great. Now, for some pros, the platforming is great, it's just good. The theme has a great core identity and is mostly constant throughout the different levels, through the music and the defense contraptions which you need to avoid and bypass. It's very consistent. And finally, every single star is enjoyable and offers a different experience. For some cons, I wish it was clearer who the base belongs to and why we are blowing it up. Is it Bowser's base? Is it the Topman tribe, which are these funny looking Beyblades? Having like one or two sentences from any character, even like a signpost, just clarifying whose base it is, would have made it feel a lot more natural blowing it up, you know? And also, there is a section with this multicolored planet which does not fit the theme at all, and clashes with the rest of the galaxy. As you can notice, most of my cons were fairly nitpicky. Yeah, this galaxy is a 10 out of 10. Rolling Green Galaxy. Motion controls. You either love him or you hate him, or you're like me and sometimes you can enjoy them as long as it's not overkill and it's done well. This galaxy is a fun time where you roll on this ball on a mini golf-like track. It's quick, it's fun, and it has its charm. For some pros, the level has lots of personality even for how short it is. Also, similarly to the Loopdeeloop Galaxy, it offers a unique experience which deserves to be in the game. Now, the cons, motion controls. If you're not patient or you do not like them, I could see this level being frustrating. Overall, I do give this galaxy a 7 out of 10. The Sling Pod Galaxy. More motion controls! This galaxy builds upon the spiderweb catapults mechanic that I shortly talked about in the Space Junk Galaxy. While I think this particular level could have been included in the Space Junk Galaxy instead of being its own galaxy, it is once again a very quick start, offering a unique gameplay experience revolving this time around catapulting yourself and using pole stars to traverse this mostly 2D dimension. Now, for some pros, it is a great way to build upon the previous mechanics and offer a bigger traversal challenge with these features. For some cons, it doesn't really have an identity of its own. Overall, it's still a solid experience if you enjoy the two mechanics. For me, 8 out of 10. The Hurry-Scurry Galaxy. Similarly to the Flipswitch Galaxy, this is another filler level without any personality. The worst thing is, you actually redo the exact same level later, but instead of being its own galaxy, it's just a Hungry Luma secret star in the Sea Slide Galaxy. Like, look at this, it's exactly the same level, it's the same thing, why is it two different galaxies? It doesn't make sense. Now, for some pros, it's quick and can offer some fun, and it's not annoying to do. For some cons, it has no personality and is easily forgettable. Overall, the same verdict as this the other thing, 5 out of 10. Our second boss galaxy of the game, introducing Bowser's Star Reactor. This is where they really use the uniqueness of the gravity in this game. This level has you walking upside down, sideways, and it all makes sense and flows naturally. It blows your mind on the very first ramp, inducing a feeling of fear as you notice the void under you and the instability of your surroundings, a simple switch in gravity throwing you to your doom in the empty space, or worse, in one of the many black holes surrounding the platforms. For some pros, the creativity and plays made with the gravity is absolutely mind-blowing. I found myself letting out an audible whoa at multiple points throughout this level. Seeing ships in the background floating sideways, the visuals are great. Also, the atmosphere is scary and really works at making you feel unwelcome on Bowser's contraption. Now, for some cons, the boss fight, while good enough on the first playthrough, is quite redundant and unpleasant, as they did recycle this boss fight multiple times in the game. Overall, the galaxy is very unique, has a good theme, and some fun platforming, 9 out of 10. Let's get to the third dome, the kitchen. Beach Bowl Galaxy. This galaxy exists, I guess. It's there with multiple tropical-like galaxies, which are honestly mostly underwhelming in this game. This galaxy is what its name suggests, a floating ball of water with a bit of sand and land. While the bare bone and empty look works and enhances some galaxies such as Space Junk, to me it really does not for galaxies like this one. Look at this view, this is the whole galaxy, mostly, but still, this is so empty and so lackluster. Having the beach ball be a part of a bigger planet by simply adding a watery planet in the background or something would have made it feel so much more alive. For some pros, there is one star in a comet which sends you on this small planet, which is actually really fun. You can platform and be creative with your pathing. Also, this secret star has you doing Mario stuff with some kind of fun platforming through the ice flower power-up. Now, for the cons. Water. That's it. That's the con. The levels are forgettable and don't bring anything new outside of the aforementioned ones. And finally, the environment is so unoriginal and feels empty, in a bad way. While the third and secret stars have some good moments, overall, It's empty and faces strong competition in this dome. I rate it 6 out of 10. Gusty Galaxy. This galaxy was an absolute blast to replay through. To my surprise, it probably became one of my favorite of the entire game. Firstly, the theme is not repeated in the game. While the spooky Luigi Mansion theme is a recurring one in Mario games, it is the only time it shows up in Super Mario Galaxy, and it does a solid impression. Every single level brings so many new concepts, new ideas, new ways to interact and traverse the game, and it does so with so much charm and personality. In the first level, you are introduced to the Buoy power-up, which first of all is hilarious, and secondly is probably the most fun and unique power-up in the game. The Buoy power-up allows you to temporarily phase through certain walls, at the cost of requiring you to avoid these light spots. Then, the second level brings back the pole stars in a very fun race against this spooky fast guy, which seems to be coming straight out of Mario Strikers. The pole stars is a favorite mechanic of mine in this game, as it allows you to swing yourself and be extremely creative on how you traverse the environment. Then, the third star tops it all off with yet another new mechanic, introducing these Buoy bombs, which you swing around to destroy things. It introduces new environments, and then it has you face up against one of the best bosses of the game. This boss looks so sick, I cannot express. The visuals are amazing, the music once again slaps, and the mechanics build upon the Buoy bomb, with the boss having an actual attack pattern outside of just running away or repeating the same move. This boss fight honestly shows how they were able to make good and fun fights, they just chose not to. And then, the galaxy is not even over, because the secret star also introduces yet another new mechanic. Every single star introduces something new. The secret star has you interacting with this unique moving reality, where the floor and walls only exist in a certain moving area. This mechanic is so much fun, and is only reused in the Splatter Galaxy once, which I will talk more about later, but it's so good, and it's a secret star. Now for the pros. Every single star from this galaxy is extremely fun and unique. Every single one of them. For most galaxies, they have 1 or 2 good stars and the rest is meh. For this galaxy, however, everyone is good and deserves to be played through. While the theme in media and video game is not super unique, in the vacuum of the game, it is the only time we fully visit this spooky vibe. And it's a good change of scene outside of the many tropical water-themed ones. The Buoy power-up and the Buoy bomb are fun to use and interact in a unique way with the environment. The galaxy can offer some challenge, while it is still a child's game, and the word challenge may be a bit of a stretch. The Daredevil Comet has you fighting a boss with only 1 HP and has you thinking about your moves, which may require some retries. Or you might also just, first try it, but still. Now for the cons. Some levels are quite short, and they could have been extended a bit, to expand more on the mechanics and the ideas which were introduced. Honestly, there is no doubt in my mind this galaxy is a 10 out of 10. Bubble Breeze Galaxy. This level contrasts a lot with Flipswitch Galaxy and Hurry-Scurry Galaxy. Bubble Breeze has a unique theme with great environment on top of introducing a new unique mechanic through this blowing bubble. For a 1-star galaxy, Bubble Breeze is bringing a lot to the table. Pros: the theme is very interesting. You find yourself over this poison lake where Captain Toad's crew recently crashed. The bubble mechanic offers a new fun traversal experience and fits the theme of the level, having to avoid the poisonous lake at all costs. Cons: the bubble is just a bit too forgiving. You can solidly screw up and feel like you really should not have deserved to live. This level is solid. For a 1-star galaxy, it is 10 out of 10. Buoy Galaxy. Buoy Galaxy introduces you to yet another phenomenal soundtrack. I mean, just listen to it for a bit. Why does a 2-star galaxy have such a banger soundtrack? Well, at this point throughout the game, we have seen this mechanical construct theme quite a bit. It is done so in an interesting way once again. The game has you interact with the weaponry to lift the tower, then allowing you to climb it through some fun platforming. Climbing up the tower with the amazing soundtrack is an epic experience. Pros: solid, fun level with great platforming. Also, a decent theme with great music. Now, for some cons, the why we're there is a bit unclear. The guys at the beginning of the level say that the base is not in operations anymore and that they are only there for upkeep and maintenance. But then we see some penguins and Goombas around. What was the base used for? Are Goombas always there or only there because of Bowser? The penguin is cute, but why? Overall, my only con is nitpicky and does not affect the quality of the galaxy. 10 out of 10. Dreadnought Galaxy. The Dreadnought Galaxy is a fine level. It requires you to navigate in this mysterious dome of water to help these penguins solve a eel invasion. This is an excellent contrast to the Bigmouth Galaxy, as to me it shows how the former should have been made. Dreadnought Galaxy uses the same elements as Bigmouth. The environment is nothing but a bowl of water and you have to help or interact with the little penguins. However, where Bigmouth felt off and weird, Dreadnought has a mysterious theme reinforced with an excellent soundtrack. The opening shot itself has more charm and personality than Bigmouth in its entirety. Then, in addition to the theme being well executed, you have a clear task at hand. The penguins ask you to clear up the eels since they prevent them from fishing, so you go around and then eliminate all of them before being rewarded with a power star. While the level in its entirety is underwater, I have to recognize how the level is perfectly executed through the theme and has a good enough identity. Pros: the theme is charming and interesting. It is very well executed through the soundtrack and the environment with all of these sunken ships. In contrast to certain levels, this one actually has an explanation of why you are doing what you are doing. Now, for some cons, at the end of the day, it's not the most unique concept. You swim in water and throw shells at eels for 3 minutes. Water. Yeah, I'll keep counting this as a con until a game makes fun underwater gameplay. Overall, especially for a 1-star galaxy, it does a great job at establishing itself. 7 out of 10. Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada has you visit his flying armada once more, traversing from ship to ship, using cannons and other tools for a bit, before finally reaching the main ship. There, you have to face off against Bowser Jr., throwing shells at his ships as you avoid many projectiles. While in a vacuum, this level has everything to be fun, having to avoid and jump over projectiles as a banger song plays in the back, there is something that feels off. Not necessarily something wrong with the level, but weirdly enough, it does not feel fun to play through. For some pros, the music is good, which is something I say and will keep saying a lot about this game. If, like me, you enjoy having to avoid projectiles, then this fight does a great job at throwing a bunch at you. For some cons, we have seen the flying ships many times already, and there isn't any twist on or environmental changes made to them that differentiates this level from the many others using them. Overall, an alright boss and level, 6 out of 10. Now let's get to the fourth dome, the bedroom. After sad galaxies such as space junk make you feel the emptiness and despair of space, this galaxy finally makes you feel the wonder of it with positive energy and brightness. The first thing you do upon setting foot on Gusty Garden is picking up one of these flowers and soaring through the sky as the soundtrack picks up and fills you with this sense of wonder and exploration. The pros: the environment, visuals, and the soundtrack are great. They are amazing. The theme is mostly well maintained across the levels. outside of a short portion, having to platform across floating cubes for some reason. For the cons, I got robbed of my first attempt at the purple coin stars, and I will not back down on that. I should have gotten it. What's that? Why is the timer? Why does the timer keep ticking when I've... Come on, bro. But actually, while the levels were decent enough and traversing the galaxy is a good time, it did not have that X factor through unique mechanics or amazing platforming that other galaxies have. Still, the galaxy is almost perfect, just missing a little something. 9 out of 10. Freezeflame Galaxy. The clash of fire and ice, a good old classic brought back in this game. The visuals are very good and the dichotomy of the elements is well executed. For the pros, good theme and great visuals to accompany it. Also, a solid cosmic comet. Now, for some cons, I wish there were more fast-paced platforming sections using the ice skate mechanic. It's really fun, and I just wish it was used more. The theme is not explored as much as it could have been. I wish there were more sections where lava and ice are actually near each other, just to reinforce this contrast and the beauty in it. Instead, we have many sections where you are just on ice, and then another section where you are just on fire. I mean, you're not on fire, you're just... You get what I mean. The purple coin star can be a bit painful. A galaxy with very high potential and decent execution. However, it could have been a lot better through platforming, taking more advantage of the ice skating, and through exploring more the dichotomy of the two elements, instead of mostly focusing on one after the other. 8 out of 10. Dune Galaxy. Another theme that has been done quite a few times in media and video games, even more so in Mario games. However, it is once again a very good execution of the theme, with fun level and platforming and good visuals and environments. To me, this galaxy is the quintessential Mario experience. A Mario theme with charm and personality, such as these small moments where Mario gets stuck in the sand after taking a launch star. With great platforming making good uses of the sand mechanics and the perspective changes from the game. Overall, this is another galaxy that, while the theme is not unique in media as a whole, it is in the vacuum of this specific game and makes for a great experience. While the main stars are all fun, my personal favorite from this galaxy is actually the Hungry Luma star, which has you collect silver stars inside this pyramid where the sand goes up and down and you must walk on the walls of the ceiling. This is exactly what makes this game as a whole great. These uses of the gravity and perspective makes for amazing shots and scenery, enhancing the platforming experience a lot. For the pros, great visuals and a good execution of the theme. Every single star from this galaxy is fun and replayable. The galaxy introduces unique mechanics such as these tornadoes, which, what the hell? Yeah, we have confirmation that Mario is not human. How is he doing that? This plumber is on something, what? Enjoyable platforming and an excellent use of the game's tools. Look at that, this platforming is epic. Now for some cons, well actually one con, the theme is something we've seen before and does not show the real potential of alien concepts which the game could explore. Still a very good experience through and through. 10 out of 10. Honeyclimb Galaxy. This galaxy consists of a few simple walls with patches of honey. The level has you using the bee power-up to climb up the walls, jumping around, avoiding meteors and giant bugs. It is fine as a level, as it presents a better use of the bee power-up and its potential for platforming. However, the theme is not explored deeper than it is in the two hub galaxies focused on the bees, and it doesn't introduce anything new or unique. For some pros, the platforming is alright, and for some cons, this feels a lot like a filler level, bringing nothing new to the table. 5 out of 10. Bigmouth Galaxy. This level is a great example of a good use of water mechanics and just a water level as a whole. Upon landing on the galaxy, a gold sparkling chest welcomes you and catches your attention rapidly, clearly identifying the end goal. Next to it, a wooden sign tells you that only a golden shell will open the chest. So, searching for a gold shell we go. Let's be honest, this is very small context, but still context that I do appreciate and is missing for some galaxies. Additionally, the game ends up slightly subverting your expectations at the end, jump scaring you with Captain Toad inside the chest. It's not big, but still, it's something, okay? However, while the level was good enough through its music and visuals, I still think it was lacking a little something. Having a large shark or sea creature just pop up after you grab the shell and chase you until you reach the surface could have added a bit more depth to the level. Instead, it just feels a bit lackluster. For some pros, the environment looks great, showing a lot more identity and graphical prowess than many other water levels, such as Sea Slide or Beach Ball. The ambience is well established and we have a bit of context surrounding the galaxy. Now for some cons, water level still means some moments of pain from underwater controls, especially since a section of this level has you gathering collectibles underwater. How fun! This level is carried by its visual and environmental art. 7 out of 10. Bowser's Dark Matter Plant. Bowser's Dark Matter Plant takes the gravity mechanic from the game and gives it some steroids. It explores this through these moving platforms, giving a unique spin on platforming. The dark matter visuals work well at establishing an intimidating ambience. For some pros, the platforming is very fun and unique. The visuals are great, while a bit repetitive with other Bowser levels. For some cons, the boss fight starts to get repetitive at this point of the game. While every time we fight Bowser, there are new mechanics of the fight and slight twists. The recycling of some other elements makes it feel forced. It feels as if they designed the final fight and then removed a few mechanics for the first to the last fight, and then dumbed it down even further for the first one. Overall, the level is definitely fun and unique, but gets a bit worse due to the recycling of some elements. They also could have explored the dark matter and gravity mechanics further. Still, I give this level an 8 out of 10. Our first to last dome, the engine room. Goldleaf Galaxy. Goldleaf Galaxy is an expansion of the Honeyhive Galaxy. It uses the same base planet, but with a 180-degree switch and a little of a palette change. It's as if the Honeyhive Galaxy got through a breakup and tried to make some changes. It is rather uninspired in its own, expanding a bit on some mechanics and the bee power-up, but not so much introducing anything new. Combined with the Honeyclimb Galaxy, we've seen this theme at this point. However, it does introduce the interesting use of these cataquacks to switch planets. The levels are fine and surprisingly expand well on the use of the bee power-up. Personally, I think the levels of this galaxy are more fun and interesting than the Honeyhive Galaxy ones. While I'm still a heavy hater of the bee power-up and of how it restricts your movement options and your pathing decisions, small tweaks could have made this galaxy very good. The 3 main stars are fairly enjoyable and feel fresh, even through the recycling of the theme. And then, the Cosmic Comet is excellent. The Secret Star is also a bit of silly fun, as well as the Purple Coins, being one of the better ones in my opinion. All in all, I do not blame the game for recycling the theme, as it works very well in the context of the game. It makes sense that the Honeyhive Kingdom has neighbors, and since the galaxies are spread apart in the timing at which you unlock and complete them, you don't get theme fatigue. The levels are also largely better to me. Pros: good expansion and usage of previously established mechanics, fun levels and comets, and finally it fits well in the setting and lore of the game. Now for some cons. We've already seen the theme, and I'm not a fan of the bee power-up and how it restricts and how you approach the game. In summary, the Gold Leaf Galaxy is the Honeyhive Galaxy, but slightly better. 8 out of 10. Sea Slide Galaxy. This galaxy is incredibly underwhelming. The theme is unoriginal and uninspired. The environment is lackluster and bare bones to say the least, and you have water and the bee power-up. The two best things in the game, am I right? The stars can be summarized to racing Goopa, racing penguins, collecting silver stars, and collecting purple coins. And all of that in a circular floating ring of water with no environment other than a static cloud PNG in the background. Yeah, it's great, it's really good. Now the pros. You see Goopa the Orca in the first star, and this guy is the cutest. I love them so much. Also, the Cosmic Comet is quite fun to play through. For some cons, the other stars are boring to collect and unmemorable. And this galaxy has by far the worst purple coin, though, the worst star in the entire game. The purple comet of this galaxy is by far the most tedious, unenjoyable, painful. 4 out of 10. Would not recommend. There are so many unique IDs and levels in the game, and this galaxy is not one of them. Toy Time Galaxy. This galaxy is a lot of silly little fun. It does not take itself seriously and does not try to impress you with grandiose visuals or anything. You're just jumping on toys and jumping on kitchenware or destroying toys as you remove screws. It introduces the spring power-up and the screws, which you interact with a lot. The purple coins level is excellent, presenting you with a lot of choices as to how you want to bath and approach it, while still offering a slight challenge. On the other hand, the boss fight is uninspired and not very fun. It has you jumping on top of this mole guy as they are shooting you, and it's something like the third time we fight this exact boss. Other times it was water shooting of the cannon instead of fire, and the turret was a bit lower, but still, it's the same fight, which was not even fun the first time. The galaxy as a whole is lackluster. The music is one of the worst soundtracks of the game. The environment is uninspiring and uninteresting. Even the second comet has you just redo one of the previous levels, but with the enemies going slightly faster, which the level was not even good the first time. The pros. It's silly, and it's different than the more serious galaxies. The screws can be satisfying to interact with. And finally, the Purple Coins Comet is fun. Now, for some cons, every level is meh, it's there. And the few environmental assets are recycled left and right. This galaxy was disappointing to say the least. 4 out of 10. Bonefin Galaxy. The Bonefin Galaxy is a spooky one. It is introduced to you as you land on a mushroom ship, seemingly indicating that the planet was too dangerous to land on. And you have this uncanny sound playing in the background as you fly towards the water, and rapidly enough are introduced to the danger of these waters. King Finn. As the music quickly shifts in intensity, you start swimming around and grab the first tool you can find, some shells, and start throwing them at the imposing shark. The level is simple. You throw a few shells until Kingfin dies, and that's it. It's simple, but good enough. The pros. Model-wise, the boss design is very good, it's great. While it recycles bullet bills, it even does so with a reskin. It is impressive that the 2 minutes boss fight has reskins of its own. They never use these bullet bill skin anywhere else. Also, good music and ambience. Now for some cons, the fight and level is simple and does not bring anything new as far as mechanics or interactions goes. It is decent. 7 out of 10. Sand Spiral Galaxy. This level is absolutely phenomenal. Even my initial reaction can tell you. Oh, that looks fun! The Galaxy is a very linear level, which, however, offers you choices. At the start of the level, you can choose between the Boo power-up and the Bee power-up. Knowing me, you know which power-up I took. If you take the Boo, you'll have to avoid these beams of light and the Boos following you, as they are in love with your very commanding mustache. However, if you choose to take the Bee instead, you'll have to manage your energy and avoid these blasts of water. Then, you use a star power-up to ram through rocks and get to the star. This level shows so much potential about what is good in the game, from having choices to how you approach the challenge ahead, and doing so with unique power-ups and challenges. Pros: the idea of choosing your favorite or least hated mechanic and challenge is great. It is a crime that this is the only time in the game where you do so. Now the cons: the level is criminally too short.
Wait, why was it so short?
I wish there would have been multiple sections with different choices or combinations of power-ups. This concept is so good and uses the strengths of the game. Overall, this galaxy is goated. I will not keep the length of the level against it, but man oh man should it be longer, or even be a hub galaxy where all stars have you make choices, or even be a recurring mechanic in many different levels across the game. It's easily 10 out of 10. Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor. The last galaxy in which we fight Bowser Jr. Honestly, it's fine. You first land on a rocky planet where you stomp Goombas, use bullet bills to access a launch star, then you are almost immediately onto the final boss. The final boss is the return of one of my favorites, King Caliente. The giant lava octopus full of personality is back. It is great and adds a little twist to the fight, with you now having to stay moving as platforms slowly lower in lava. While it is a decent twist to a good boss fight, I find the galaxy to lose most of what made King Caliente a good fight. The initial fight had a very different environment, which felt more cohesive and logical. Now, these metal platforms feel out of place and the overall environment feels stitched together. Now the pros: it is a very short level revisiting a fun boss fight with a decent twist on it. Now the cons: the twist is not enough to justify being a level on its own. And for a last Bowser Jr. appearance, it's disappointing. The galaxy does not feel justified to be in the game to me. However, fun and gameplay-wise, it's perfectly fine and enjoyable. It's just very easily forgettable. 6 out of 10. And for the very last dome, the garden. Deep Dark Galaxy. The Deep Dark Galaxy does not bring any new mechanics or ideas. At this point in the game, most of innovative ideas have been presented to you at least once. However, what Deep Dark does is greatly build upon already established game elements and simply present you a solid gameplay experience. For example, we see this mole guy again, but instead of being the sole focus of the level and being the climax, they're right at the beginning and presented as just another enemy. While they are terrible as bosses, this is a good way of using them just as another step in the level. Deep Dark also reuses this Kamek boss fight, but does so with a slight change in environment. Once the boss gets hit thrice, instead of immediately dying, they escape towards the top of the ship. You then have to climb up to finish them. Then we meet Goopy the Orca again, and the game even acknowledges it in a comedic way, making you feel pity for the poor orca which only wants a lake to live in. Pros: while it is nothing new, the levels are just solid and fun. Cons: you could skip most of the galaxy and still have the entire Mario Galaxy experience. 8 out of 10. Dreadnought Galaxy. Would you believe me if I told you that this is yet another galaxy that does not introduce much new thematically, but is very good? Yeah, I'd hope so, because that is exactly what Dreadnought Galaxy is. Do not preemptively judge it by its name and look. It may look like a very bland and boring galaxy, but playing through it, it actually became one of my favorite, and I'll without a doubt make another stop if I replay through the game. Similarly to the Battlerock Galaxy, your goal is to infiltrate this military base. You kill guards to access it, and then you do some extremely fun platforming, making an amazing use of those changes in gravity we know and love from the game. It does use unique interactions, such as using bullet bills to release water, allowing access to higher areas. Other neat interactions have you using nuts to move ahead. It truly feels like we're an intruder using every tool at our disposal, every single weakness in their defense against them. For some pros, while thematically we've seen similar galaxies and there are no new power-ups or big things, this galaxy is full of ideas on how you interact with the environment to progress, using already established concepts. Every level feels fresh, even with this galaxy showing up late in the game. Now for some cons, similarly to all other galaxies with this military vibe, I wish it was clearer who owns the base and why we are infiltrating it. While it is most likely Bowser, it is not clearly stated, as it does not have the traditional Bowser aesthetic, nor is there any mention of it. A singular box of dialogue to give context would be great. Every level is a ton of fun, and the Purple Coin Comet succeeds in being both challenging and enjoyable. 10 out of 10. Easily. Splatter Galaxy! Now, I know you've heard me doing nothing but compliment the galaxies in this dome, but I'll keep going. Splatter Galaxy is, guess what, one of my favorite in the game. Yeah, after the disappointing dome that was the engine room, the garden comes out swinging with good galaxy after good galaxy. The Splatter Galaxy builds upon a mechanic introduced a long time ago in the secret star of the Ghostly Galaxy, being this mechanic that the floor and walls and all materials temporarily disappear from existence. This mechanic is central to Splatter and justifies plenty its own level. Heck, it could even justify its own game in my book. Pros, the ambience is phenomenal. The usage of the walls disappearing to tease you with the promising light of the star in the horizon, combined with the mysterious music, makes for a great ambience, as platforms mysteriously disappear and tilt around you. Cons, the ID could have been and should have been expanded further. A 10 out of 10, the concept is great and fun, and the execution is decent enough to create nothing but an enjoyable gameplay experience. Molten Galaxy. This galaxy is a cluster of lava planets with volcanoes erupting. The visuals are phenomenal and show what should have been done to enhance many other galaxies in the game. Since the game was made for the Wii 18 years ago, backgrounds are pretty much always static images. Sometimes it is a bit too noticeable and looks truly bad to the point of breaking immersion. In the case of this galaxy, however, the background enhances the feel of the galaxies and does an excellent job. The visuals are some of the best in the game, the platforming and level design is fairly simple but fun, and the galaxy does a great job at telling continuous evolving story through its environment. In the first level, we see this volcano erupting. Then, upon landing the second star, we now see meteors falling down and the metal platforms which were originally present now destroyed. Pros, the music goes hard. The levels are solid platforming and nothing but fun. The environment is visually impressive. Now the cons, the ultimate end boss of the galaxy is a recycle of the first boss, but with fire. While it can be a good throwback, it feels lazy and disappointing. Overall, yet another solid galaxy. While I would probably give it a 9, the music is so good that it bumps the rating to a 10 out of 10. Snow-capped Galaxy. This galaxy is a light-hearted, snow-covered planet where you'll hunt around and attempt to catch 3 rabbits to be awarded the star. It's cute and has a decent aesthetic, but I'm personally not such a fan of the stars revolving around catching these rabbits. Pros: the level uses different tools in an interesting way, such as having snow on the ground slowing your movement, which you can clear by aiming the pointer on, or using the fire flower power-up and hidden switches to find the bunnies. This galaxy, being the last hungry Illuma, acts as a decent throwback to the very first introduction you have at the beginning of the game, where you also had to catch these, I don't know if it's the same ones, but you also had to catch 3 rabbits. Now for the cons, it is not such a fun experience. It can be cute, but I do not think I would replay through the level. It's alright, 6 out of 10. Bowser's Galaxy Reactor. The center of the universe. The very last level of the game. The moment the game ultimately builds up to. The level starts with an amazing soundtrack blasting you and you jumping on a wall as you see floating constructs and cores in the background, as well as me immediately dying. Oh, no, we don't show that part. Yeah, let's just show another clip. This level does a great job at referencing mechanics and elements from the entire game, such as these changes in gravity, descent levels, and these appearing platforms. The pros: this level is a great throwback to the rest of the game. The soundtrack is epic and phenomenal. And finally, it's a fun combination of mechanics to make great gameplay. Now for the cons: for a final level, it is rather short. Making mistakes and having a few deaths, it still took me around 12 minutes to complete. Also, the boss fight is still the same Bowser fight, while it does have another couple of twists slapped on it. Being the 3rd time we do it makes it feel a lot less special and epic. Cutting out one of the 3 fights would probably have made it feel much better and more fresh. Overall, this level is a good final level and does differentiate itself from more traditional Bowser levels. A 9 out of 10. The Planet of Trials is a small planet accessible from the observatory. This planet hosts 4 one-star galaxies, which I will group together. All of these galaxies build upon previously introduced mechanics, putting aside environmental and thematic priorities to instead offer a challenge using these mechanics. There is the Rolling Gizmo Galaxy, building upon the Rolling Ball, the Loopdeeloop Galaxy, offering a new track for ray racing, and my personal favorite, the Bubble Blast Galaxy, presenting a fun challenge with a blowing bubble. Then you have the Grand Final Galaxy, which requires you to fully complete the game twice. Once as Mario and the other time as Luigi. Yeah, I will not review that one because I'm not doing that. All these galaxies are surprisingly fun to play through. Mario games often have a tendency to add collectibles or challenges which are nothing but tedious and unfun. However, this game does it differently. All 3 of these stars being extremely fun, while a bit easier than you'd expect from Mario challenges. The pros: these levels greatly build upon previously established mechanics, which were not overused throughout the game and still feel fresh and fun to use. Also, these levels might offer a slight challenge. Now for some cons: while these galaxies do not have a strong recurring theme or environment, they are not designed to do so, so it's like a soft con. Still, this galaxy or this planet is a 10 out of 10. It's great. It's a good example of challenge levels. Alright, so that is every single galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy reviewed. Thank you all so much if you made it through up to this point. And thanks again. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you another time.